Today I'm gonna build one of your houses again. If you wanna join, you still can. The link to the form is down in the description. This house will be for 5 Sims that have a cat. It's gonna be built on a 40 by 30 lot. The budget is Mansion Baron, so over 350,000 simoleons, so no limit. The style is gonna be Victorian. The color palette is gonna be a farmhouse, lots of white and wood. I'm allowed to use all the packs, but no custom content. And I asked if you want anything specific in this house. The answer here was a garden, a wraparound porch, a bar and a game room. So that is what I built. It's a lot bigger than what I usually do. You see me working on the exterior for now. I found a Victorian looking house on Pinterest and I copied it as far as it's possible in The Sims, but just for the shape, not for the exterior. You see me placing a tower at the front. A lot of Victorian houses have a tower somewhere in the front of the house, so that is what I did. The roof gave me a little bit of trouble, but I think it looked pretty cute in the end. And I wanted to have a rim around the tower, because I tried pulling down the sides, but it just didn't look right. And this looks pretty right. It's not perfect, but I don't think the thing I wanted to do is possible in The Sims, so we can't have to do with this. I made the outside all brick because it's a Victorian style and I believe most of those houses are made of brick. Besides, I live in the Netherlands where most houses are made of brick, so that's pretty common here and just looks right to me. Here I made the wrap around porch with a roof overhang for it, and of course I'm using Strangerville doors and windows everywhere because I mean it's one of my builds. That's what I do, that's what I like. I really like these big windows because I don't use these very often, but they seem to fit the build, so why not? I am focusing on the outside of the house for now. I already made the floor plan. The downstairs has a sitting room, a parlor room, dining room, kitchen, a storage for the kitchen and a bathroom. The upstairs has 3 kids' bedrooms, a master bedroom and a game room and a bathroom. I also made a family to go with the house if you like, if you want to play in it with your own family. If you want to change anything about the house, of course, go right on ahead. It's The Sims, you can do whatever you want. The family I made has a husband and wife. They have a teenage daughter and they have twin daughters that are still children. This is gonna be the entryway. I wanted a place to hang your coat, and because it's so big I placed a couch in here just to fill it up, and I thought it looked really nice. I am using a lot of Seasons furniture in here because that is really the farmhouse vibe that was requested. So now I'm using hardwood floors everywhere, light colored. I thought that looked cute. I changing the stairs to fit the aesthetic, and every room has white walls, but I am gonna change it up in some rooms, and some rooms I'm just gonna leave them white and put lots of decorations everywhere. There are archways connecting the rooms everywhere. I was thinking of making another kind of archway towards the parlor here, but it just looked better to have all the same archways. A mirror in the entrance so you can check your hair before you step outside. I wanted curtains everywhere. This is finding the right ones, and every room has two lights at the ceiling. I'm using those tiny saucer lights and I'm using a pretty light, and I cover the tiny saucer with the pretty light. You can see it here in the corner. I think that looks pretty. because you got a lot of more light than you usually would, and you just don't see the light. This room is the parlor. I don't really know what a parlor is. I am guessing it comes from the French word parler, which means to talk, so I just made a talking room where you can entertain guests. I placed a games table there where you can play Don't Wake the Llama, and just some comfy furniture and some decorations here. It's quite simple. I really like this color scheme. I think it's the same color scheme as I use for my own house. Quite calming. This is the family room. It has a fireplace, and I was looking for some cute art for above the fireplace. And this has a TV and a comfy couch, and in the back I'm gonna place lots and lots of plants, and there will be a place for the cat in here as well. To be honest, I forgot about the cat at first, but I am gonna fix it. I think halfway. This build took me so long. I think I got about 6 hours of footage, and you could see it by the length of this video. I even sped it up more than I usually do, the footage. So yeah, it took me a lot of time, but it was really fun to do. I looked forward every day to work on it again. Yeah, this is the sitting room almost finished, and an archway towards the kitchen and a door towards the bathroom. There are 2 sets of stairs in this house, just so give you an idea on how big it actually is. This is a small space towards the outside, towards the garden. Now I'm working on the kitchen. I really like this wallpaper, tiles from Realm of Magic, I believe. I'm going for the expensive stuff in the kitchen. I was really indecisive on what cabinets to use. In the end, I went for those that came with a pack where you go on vacation to Salvadorado. I forget the name of the pack, because it has matching cabinets and not a lot of those things do, and I did want to have matching upper cabinets, so that's what I went with. I thought these that I had placed right now are a bit too dark. Yeah, now I'm going with the lighter ones. Although the upper cabinets don't really match the lower cabinets, but it's close enough. It's close enough. I really like the color of it, and I think it fits the rest of the house. Placing a fancy coffee maker and a tea thing there. Just a little bit of clutter. There isn't a lot of clutter in this house. I kept it very bright and clean. This is the storage area, where the pantry, as you call it, where you can store stuff for your kitchen. Also, I kept it really simple, just some china cabinets and a big cabinet from Laundry Day. And this small area is gonna be the bathroom. It's a very fancy bathroom, especially for downstairs. This house has only 2 bathrooms, so I'm imagining this one to be for the kids, for the 2 little kids, and the upstairs one for the parents and the teenager. You saw me using tool to get the mirror in the right place. I am still a bit clumsy when it comes to using tool, but I really like it. The mod creator did an amazing job, and it gives you so much more creativity, so much more freedom when building stuff. I mean, have you ever seen the builds of Kate Emeralds? It's only something I can aspire to. Then again, she only posts about 1 build a week, where I try to post every day, so I guess she has a little bit more time, but she is really talented. You should check her out if you ever have the chance. And here is the bar as was requested. I put it in the dining room. There will also be a bar in the garden, and here the pathway to the garden. I put some garden stuff there. It's not just some shovels and stuff. Now I'm gonna work on the upstairs. I'm using the same doors as downstairs just to keep it cohesive. I'm gonna use the same wallpaper and flooring here too, just to make it all seem like one. Then I realized some of my stuff was placed into my inventory. When I had saved it and loaded up back again, I wanted a really fancy bed in the master bedroom. So most of the stuff in the master bedroom is from Realm of Magic. They have this really pretty beige swatch, and I think it looks so good. They get a double built-in closet. It's just really over the top fancy. I can't imagine living in a house like this. It's just, I really like the aesthetic of this. Of course there is a couch, because that is so extra to have a couch in your bedroom. And I wanted some fancy curtains. I went for these base game ones. I liked that cabinet there, but it really didn't fit into this bedroom. The colors didn't fit, so I just kept it mostly Realm of Magic in here. Choosing a nice chandelier, and of course I kept the tiny saucer again, like I do in almost all the rooms, just so it's lit up well. And I'm using Tulle again to place the mirror where I want it. I love Tulle. I need to practice it more. I placed those cute trays that came with, I think, the paranormal stuff back in the bedside tables. And here is a little sitting area. I'm also using some of the paranormal stuff back in this room. This is gonna be the bathroom. I was contemplating making there a sauna, but it was just a little bit too small for that to also have a sauna. The toilet does have its own room in here, just to make it a little more fancy. And a magazine stand, which I thought was really funny. I mean, most people just look at their phone when they're on the toilet, but before that, people used to read magazine on the toilet. So that's what I did here. And 2 sinks, because this is the master bathroom. It just needs a lot of stuff. And here I'm trying to figure out how to place all the clutter that I wanted here. I really like how it turned out. Also placed a couch in here where you can change, and some towels that have almost the same color as the rest of the flooring, and of course some rails there so your Sims won't fall down. Not that they do, but just for a little bit of realism. And now I thought, yes, we do have a cat, so now I am placing some cat stuff here. A little cat bed and a scratching post. It looks like a branch, a scratching post. I thought it looked cute with all those plants. This is the teen bedroom. I have given her a desk, and that plant-like thing is actually a lamp. I thought it looked really cute. I'm imagining this to be a 13-14-year-old, so I am still keeping it a little bit childish with those flowers on the wall, but she also has a lot of perfumes and makeup and such, and of course magazines. She is a teenager, and some skill building items in her room. Placing some posters, some art here. It's a bit more fancy, the art. So yeah, because their parents are rich, because they live in here. I really wanted to use the bunk beds we just got. I mean, the rooms are big enough not to use them, but it's just I really like them, and I wanted to use them. I placed a dresser beneath the bunk beds. They still work this way. You can only use the slot that is farthest from the ladder. That way they still can use it. Both kids get a dollhouse. I sized them 1 down, so they're not that huge. They can perfectly use them. You can size down those dollhouses as far as you want. They can still play with it. It still looks good. So it's a tip if you are playing in a smaller house and you want your child to have a dollhouse. I love this rug. I think it came with my first pet stuff, all with cats and dogs, one of those. They look really cute. I make one really pink and one really blue bedroom. They are both girls, but who says girls can't have a blue bedroom? And besides, I think my son would love that pink bedroom. This is the gaming room. I have placed that gigantic gaming station there. It just fitted and it was over the top and I loved it. I placed a popcorn machine, a tea maker and a tray for lemonade in there, so you don't have to leave the room if you get hungry. Some Void Critters there, and the Void Critter station that came with the kids stuff pack. Kids can play it to battle each other with the Void Critters they got. There's some kind of Pokemon, I guess. I don't often play with it because it's pretty involved, and I don't know. I don't know why I don't really play with it. It's a really cute idea. I want to spice up the hallway a little, so I placed some art. I placed a couch and some flowers. So just to make it look nice. I mean, it's not really necessary for a hallway, but still look nice. And now I am gonna focus on the garden. I placed the whole house entirely to the left, so I got the whole right side to make a yard. And first I'm focusing on the front to make it look pretty, placing some big rocks here. Those are debug rocks. They don't cost anything, but they just look really nice, especially with those plants in them. I wanted a gate in the fence there, but none of the gates really matched the fence, which was really weird. So it's a non-matching gate, but it's the best I could do. And of course a giant pool, because this house is extra and it needed a really big pool. I used rain paint to connect the pool with the seating area there, and I'm placing three lounging things there, and the bar of course, and lots of plants everywhere. This is the playing area for the kids. I used a big pirate play thing, which I thought looked really nice, and of course the monkey bars. Sadly I have to delete those flowers underneath the monkey bars because the kids can't use it. I play tested most of this house and everything works. If you want to download it, it's on the gallery. My username there is Tara Watson No Space. This is the sitting area outside with the barbecue and just some counters there with some clutter on top of it. I placed some fairy lights everywhere. I thought it looked so cute. And now I made it nighttime just to see everything is lit up well. I cut out some of the footage here because otherwise the video would have been way too long. Now I'm working on the front of the house just to spice it up a little with a few plants, a few rocks, just to make it all look pretty, and just to tie everything in. A tiny cat plant there, and now we are going into the screenshots. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please press a like. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell if you don't want to miss any other of my videos. And if you also want to tell me what to build, there is a link to the form down in the description for you to click and just to fill out. I pick a random one every week to build. I really like it, and I like to build the things you want me to. So I post new videos every day, so I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.